Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're talking about Nacon. Now, they're not necessarily a big publisher, but they have been around for quite some time. They are publicly traded, and they're having to sell four of their studios because of insolvency issues. So let's work through this. We're going to work through their parent as well a little bit and go over the games that they're known for. So, as of the 23rd of March, game developer Spider, Cyanide, Kalaton, hope I said that right, and a motion capture company, Nacon Tech, have all filed for insolvency. As for Nacon themselves, they have begun work on an outline of restructuring plan for their group comprising the company and its subsidiaries, allowing them time to continue operating while negotiating debt with creditors and seeking a new financial path forward. Starting in February, when Nacon parent and majority stakeholder Big Ben Interactive defaulted on a €43 million bond repayment. Nacon has postponed its Nacon Connect showcase, which it usually does every year, in March. And some of the games that it's known for would be like Greedfall, Steel Rising, which was actually a pretty fun game if you like Dark Souls, Styx, Blood Bowl, Tour de France, Test Drive, and the WRC. So yeah, and those are games that, again, haven't done necessarily well. And some of these two are niche games, but a lot of people actually kind of enjoy some of them. So they're pretty well known. They do have Greedfall that launched in early access, Greedfall 2, but it was mixed reactions, both from critics and players. And then the hack and slash Dragonkin, The Banished, which is actually on Game Pass. It's on other gaming services as well. It had a better player response, but only a few critics actually tried it. And then there's Cthulhu, The Cosmic Abyss, which is the 16th of April. So they have 3 games coming, but none of them, again, are really seeming to be bangers. And their games, I would say, aren't necessarily bangers. Like WRC used to be a pretty good rally circuit game. But again, that one also kind of just fell off. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Now, I did want to talk about the difference between insolvency and bankruptcy, just to help educate a little bit, because I had to look it up too. So yeah, insolvency represents that particular state in which an individual or organization is not able to settle debts on time when they fall due for payment because of lack of funds or bank balance. Bankruptcy can be defined as a formal and legal declaration of an individual's inability to settle debts. So taking a look at the differences here, one is because of a economic distress, which a lot of companies are right now, whether it's gaming or not. Bankruptcy is basically final. Insolvency can be temporary, but again, if you see a company that's continuing to do this over and over again, eventually, yeah, they're going to get there. And then bankruptcy is definitely permanent and final, and they basically sell all of the assets. Last resort, no. For insolvency, yes. For bankruptcy. But the process for insolvency is not voluntary. Like, it has to be ran through. You have to pay your debts back. And if you're unable to do that, then you have to go through the insolvency process. And that's what they're doing right now. So, but yeah, the assets are basically not sufficient to pay off liabilities that are due. Now, every company has debt. Some companies have a lot. Some companies have a little. But, when economic times are hard, having debt is usually a pretty bad thing. Doesn't always have to be, but it can definitely be quite the burden because, not only are you unable to maybe just run your day-to-day operations of your company, but also pay off your debts as well. Current studio list of Nacon is Milan Big Ant Studios, Creature Studios, Datalic Entertainment, Eco Software, Ishkar Games, Midgar, and Kyloton, Spider, Cyanide, and they're currently up for sale. Big Bad Wolf, Taeyon, Hickett, Urban Games. Oh yeah, they own Urban Games too. Wow. Neopika, KT Racing, and Rig Gaming. So they own quite a few, but as you can see too, a lot of these games or a lot of these studios were actually acquired in the 2020s. And we're seeing this too from like Embracer Group. We're seeing this from Xbox and also from Sony, is that they acquired a lot of things during the 2020s when they felt like they had a ton of money because revenue was super high, right? And now that's all been fallen off. And so now, the size it cannot support itself because, there's just not enough money ultimately, which is kind of brutal. When we take a look at Nacon, as you can see, it's a horrible chart. Oh, my word. Absolutely wretched. They're not even really giving their earnings reports anymore. They're just not showing very much. at all. They're not even giving guidance from the looks of it either. This was a little bit of guidance, maybe right there, but again, none of these are colored. They're just presented, and then again, some of these aren't even really presented at all. So they have another earnings coming up on June 1st, period ending in March. But yeah, they have their games coming in April, so that won't come until later. But when we take a look at what they're actually doing here for their net profits, it's pretty bad, especially the last 18 months. These are 6-month intervals. But yeah, 2.85, negative 3.9, and basically zero. So yeah, that's not really great. When we take a look at an annual, it was actually pretty good. It was fair. 10, 6, 8, 10 and a half, and then yeah, basically negative 1 for 2024. So again, yeah, during stimulus money and all of that stuff, things were going pretty well. People had money, they were spending it, and now, well, the economy's definitely changed, and it has for a while. And that's not just the United States, that's everyone else too. We take a look at the parent company of Nacon, big, same market. Again, this is in euros. We're seeing pretty much the same thing. Here we are in 21, 22, 23, and it just freaking falls off a cliff. We take a look at their semi-annual, again, every 6 months. Basically 1%, negative 2%, positive 2.5, 7.5, and 1%. So again, they're not making amazing profits either. And they're also just presenting, it looks like. They're not really giving too much guidance. They are every once in a while, but yeah, this is pretty awful. And take a look at annual. Again, their annual is not great either. They can't get to 10%. They can't even really get to 5%. That's really bad. So 5%, 2.8, 3, 4.8, and then basically zero. So yeah, the parent company and Nacon are both not doing well. So Nacon is currently putting those studios up for sale. See if they get any bites, how much they actually get. But yeah, this is pretty detrimental. And again, this is not just AAA that's suffering in the gaming space. Okay, we're having funding pulled like from NetEase and Tencent and Sony and Xbox and Take-Two Interactive and Ubisoft. I mean, name your publisher. Basically, they're cutting back and they're pulling funding, so that's killing some games and putting some studios out. And then too, we also have other publishers that kind of used to be able to make money and can't really make money anymore. And people are, like myself, are having to be more picky and choosy, or two, just don't really buy a lot of games at MSRP. We wait for discounts, and there's just not enough money to sustain everything. So this is just another example. And the fact that Nacon has had to delay their showcase also is not very confident in actually what's going on. And even Ubisoft, I don't think they had one last year either. And Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't really go that well last year, even though it was delayed and stuff. It still didn't quite make enough, and now they have their 5 big publishing houses, and they're all going to be individually responsible pretty much to basically make money for Ubisoft. But yeah, things are having to change. I mean, this is the same too with EA having to basically be sold. While they're not in dire straits yet, they definitely have their revenue falling for the last several years. And yeah, EA games are just not performing like they did because, again, people are cutting back. It's the same with Xbox and Activision Blizzard. They also shut down Arcane Austin, though there might be a little bit more of a story there with insubordination, which is partly why maybe they closed them. And yeah, Take-Two Interactive, I mean, GTA's got to sell really well because if they've, spent a few billion, if that's the case, making that game, boy, they got to make a ton of sales to actually make that back and be profitable. So anyway, that's the news for today. I wanted to share that. Thanks for tuning in. There's various content every single week. And if I earned it, you can like, sub, and all that jazz. Also share the content and hype the videos too. Anything to help keep it in the algorithm, I definitely appreciate. So with that, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one.